Welcome to The Newsworthy. All the day's news in less than 10 minutes. Fast, fair, fun, and on the go. Thank you so much for tuning in. Today, why the U.S. is leaving the Human Rights Council, a new plan for your health care, and legal weed across Canada. Plus, 10-minute videos on Instagram and Amazon Alexa in your hotel room. All that and much more in less than 10 minutes. I'm Erica Mandy. Today is Wednesday, June 20th. You ready? Let's do this. The U.S. is saying so long to the UN Human Rights Council, which is considered the world's most important human rights body. So why is the U.S. leaving? To protest. The Trump administration says the Human Rights Council criticizes Israel's treatment of Palestinians too often. The American ambassador to the UN, Nikki Haley, even called the council a protector of human rights abusers and a, quote, cesspool of political bias. She says this doesn't mean the U.S. will stop caring about human rights, but does want to see the council make reforms. Bloomberg reports Haley warned a year ago that the U.S. might quit if the Human Rights Council doesn't deal with what she called a bias against Israel. And she said the council's own members have human rights issues, like China and Saudi Arabia. But critics say dropping out is a big mistake, that it'll allow those countries to make important decisions without America's input, since the U.S. will no longer have a vote. Also, the announcement comes one day after the UN human rights chief criticized President Trump for separating migrant children from their parents. Lawmakers are still trying to figure out what bill to try and pass to make sure families stop getting separated at the U.S.-Mexico border. The Wall Street Journal says President Trump met with House Republicans last night and told them he would support broad immigration legislation that also allows children to be detained with their parents so that they at least wouldn't be separated. Remember, this is an issue we've been talking about the last few episodes now. Basically, the Trump administration's new zero-tolerance policy means more people caught crossing the U.S. border illegally are put in jail and criminally prosecuted. And any kids that they're with get taken away and put in government-run shelters. In the past, adults with those kids would essentially be let go and then told to come back for a court date. Either way, the policy has been not to put kids in jail. But that could change depending on what Congress decides this week. Some say President Trump could actually change this policy himself, but Trump says it's up to Congress. So that's the other issue here. The president doesn't want Congress to just pass something about the family separations. He wants them to pass a bigger immigration bill, dealing with more immigration issues, and that's pretty complicated. It's not clear yet if enough lawmakers can agree on all that to actually get something passed. In the meantime, NBC News says there are some lawsuits against the Trump administration over this. One, a mom from Guatemala who crossed the U.S. border, says she's suing because the Trump administration won't tell her where her 7-year-old son is now. And the state of New York is also suing, saying those children's constitutional rights are being violated. The White House hasn't responded to those lawsuits, but has said the children are being treated well and there are consequences to breaking the law. The Trump administration is putting a new healthcare rule in place that will create a new type of health insurance. The rule makes it easier for small businesses and the self-employed to band together and create what's called association health plans for themselves and for their employees. The Wall Street Journal says those plans won't have to follow all the requirements of the Affordable Care Act, aka Obamacare. So that means those plans could come with fewer benefits. For example, they wouldn't have to have maternity leave or mental health coverage. On the flip side, they would likely cost less for people to enroll. Business groups are on board with this. They feel small businesses need this kind of flexibility and cost savings. Critics call it junk insurance and say it'll actually drive up the cost for others, like people with pre-existing conditions. For now, the Labor Department expects about 4 million Americans to enroll in these types of healthcare programs by 2023. The entire country of Canada just legalized weed, and not just the medical kind. Yesterday, the Senate approved the bill known as the Cannabis Act. That was the final step needed, so now the Prime Minister and his cabinet will set a date for the law to officially go into effect. Once it does, it means it's okay in Canada to possess marijuana and grow it at home. And licensed retailers will be allowed to sell marijuana. It'll still be illegal for minors, though. CBS News says the start date is expected to be in September. Canada is the first wealthy nation to legalize recreational marijuana and the second country overall. The first was Uruguay. In the U.S., 9 states have legalized recreational marijuana. 29 states have said okay to the medicinal kind. Of course, federal law in the U.S. still says it's illegal. All right, other things people may be talking about today. GE is out, Walgreens is in, at least when it comes to the Dow Jones Industrial Average starting next week. The Dow is that thing that measures the performance of 30 big companies. It's a big deal to be part of, and CNBC says General Electric was one of the originals back in 1896. But now the stock has taken a beating as GE overhauls the business, and it's kicked out of the Dow. Starbucks may not be on every corner after all. Bloomberg reports Starbucks will close 150 U.S. locations next year and that its growth has slowed. The closing stores are expected to be in major metro areas where expenses tend to be higher. Verizon and AT&T say they will stop selling customers' location data to third parties. The new plan not to sell your info is happening because of a U.S. senator's concerns. Reuters reports the senator found a prison phone company had access to customers' location data and then let law enforcement use it to actually track people without their knowledge. The Verge says that typically phone companies do allow third parties to see location info for things like fraud protection and roadside assistance. But those companies don't really have full control of what exactly third parties are doing with the data. All major phone carriers said they cut off access to that one prison involved, but not all of them promised to stop selling location info. Get ready for longer videos on Instagram. TechCrunch cite sources saying it'll be called IGTV and it's launching today. It will be part of the Explore tab on Instagram, so you'll be able to watch videos or vlogs up to 10 minutes long. Right now, Instagram stories can only be 15 seconds each, and videos in someone's feed are 1 minute max. TechCrunch says the videos won't try to compete with Netflix-style videos. It's more about competing with YouTube and having a more casual vibe. Expect to learn a whole bunch more today because Instagram's big announcement is at 9 a.m. Pacific time. Uber wants to know if you'll wait longer for a ride to save money. CNET reports Uber is testing a feature that would pop up offering, say, a 25% discount on the ride if you'll wait several more minutes for the Uber car, or however much longer. Uber is testing this with employees in LA and San Francisco. Stay tuned to see if it rolls out to everyone. Amazon Alexa could be inside your next hotel room. TechCrunch reports it's dubbed Alexa for Hospitality. It's meant to bring Amazon's smart speaker with the voice assistant, Alexa, to chain hotel rooms and vacation rentals. You could then ask Alexa for key info, checkout times, pool hours, and more. It could also let you request room service or change the thermostat. There may even be a feature in the future to connect it with your Amazon Alexa at home so you can listen to your own music, podcasts, and have your own commands while you're out of town. For now, Amazon is partnering with Marriott to get it started. Today's the day the first ever scratch and sniff stamps are revealed. As in, you won't just lick stamps anymore, you may want to sniff them. The Postal Service says the picture on the stamps will be of colorful icy pops on a stick to go along with summer, and there will be 10 different designs. All 10 will have the same scent. And that's it for today. Thanks so much again for listening. If you want to read more about any of the stories mentioned today, I list out all the links to all the articles I reference in today's show notes. Just go to thenewsworthy.com, click episodes, and find today's date. The Newsworthy is ready for you every weekday by 4 in the morning Eastern Time, so I'll be back with more news tomorrow. Have a great day.